Good morning. Dignitaries on the dais, Sri Dhanekula garu, Ravi Prasad garu, Ravi Principal garu, Srikanth garu, dignitaries of the dais, deans, faculty members, heads of departments, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear student friends. It gives me great pleasure to be here for this wonderful, incredible DHANUSH 2K25, the Techno-Cultural Festival, being celebrated at this institute. I think I did have an initial touch with this institution when it started. And it is a momentous occasion for me as well to see it grow to this stature. I had a glimpse of this institution in the morning, seeing some of the laboratories, the facilities, particularly the enthusiastic, energetic students who were ready to display the activities that have been associated with. The type of laboratories and the type of work that has been going on seems to be really interesting, very creative, most updated, and probably the need of the hour as well. Sorry for that. This is a wonderful platform, I consider, that the institution has been following for quite some time, as I hear, from almost 2012 or 13, for more than 12-13 years now, that such a techno-cultural festival is being organized, which probably help us to show our talent, to be creative, and to make use of the technologies in the best possible manner. Beyond the classroom, we try to display our abilities and skills. This is one such sort of a great opportunity. Many a times, particularly after the pandemic, we as teachers are more worried about the type of students and their abilities and their own attitudes. There's been a sea change to compare before and after pandemic. Unfortunately, we lost some things that were good, and we probably gained many things that we are to adapt. But for things that we have lost, we feel sad that those are of human values. Those are of our etiquettes and behavioral aspects. Because we have been put to gadgets without losing much time, without losing an academic year. Though in India, we were able to manage our academic performance, our academic sessions. Unlike some of the other countries, we are unfortunately tagged to these devices. And I see that even an infant baby doesn't take food unless it has a mobile in front of the baby. That's the sort of a situation that we have came to. But technology could also be a wonderful mechanism for us, a tool to help us be much better than what we were, to overcome some of the challenges that we have always been facing, either with respect to the type of resources that we have or the type of challenges that we have been facing with the changes that are taking place. Firstly, let me tell you that changes are constant. Changes create problems. Problems lead us to challenges. And challenges are always opportunities. And we keep complaining about every small thing that we come across every day. The particular difference after the pandemic happens to be these complaints that we hear more about. But we should also realize that answers to these questions, answers to these problems are always opportunities for us. When we are able to spend so much time in identifying so many problems that exist all around us, are we not capable of finding solutions for all these? I think this is where this sort of a conglomeration of people coming from different places would help us to know more, to see what others are doing, what we can do as well. In this particular context, probably for institutions, for some of us, we feel that such sort of a cultural, technical fest is a break from the academics. But believe me, it is the real life learning. It gives us such sort of memorable situations which help us develop our life skills. I tell you, this is what we have been calling experiential learning. And when I started off saying that I had a glimpse of some of the laboratories at this institute, I appreciate the sort of experiential learning that is happening on this campus. The laboratory work, the type of projects that people are introduced to and are working on is something really encouraging. We have so much of capability today. I tell you, many a times we miss opportunities. Opportunities for lack of awareness, for lack of commitment, for lack of understanding. But today, as we see, the challenges are many. The commitments of the government, there is a will of the government to do something very progressive. Be it Swachhandra, Vikasit Andhra, or Vikasit Bharat. What the governments have been planning is progress. What they are thinking is sustainability. What they are thinking is inclusive development. And if we want to be a part of this sort of a development progress, particularly in a state like Andhra Pradesh, which is quite very old, which is hardworking, which has people who are really hardworking, very innovative, creative, and IQ levels of them are also very high. But still, unfortunately, we are at a stage where we have to rebuild our state. Contribution from all of us is most essential. Maintaining our commitment and dedication to the professions that we have assigned ourselves to. In this particular context, let us try to see the opportunities that exist in all problems that we see and come to think about solutions, which is nothing but the design thinking. You are all engineers. We are all graduates coming out of institutions which have been trying, struggling, striving to put as much improvement in lives as people like us. let us try to make use of these facilities. And when we come to such sort of a gathering, of a fest sort of a thing, either you compete or you organize. When I compete, I look for winning or I look also for participation. When I look for winning, I see competition. Competition with respect to others. And there is another aspect when I talk about competition, it is not just competing with others. It is also competing with my own self. Let us all have an understanding of what standards are we for. And compete with the standards that we are able to do in the past. Let us try to improve ourselves over what we have been doing. More than this sort of a platform gives us an opportunity to experiment, to explore ourselves, and to be more innovative, creative, without having, once you go into your own careers, you hardly have a chance to commit mistakes. This is the place where you can commit as many errors possible, but still be corrected. There are people to tell you that this way is probably better than the other way that you chose. So let us try to improve ourselves, make use of this, be a little more focused, a little more dedicated to the activities that we are all committed to, either from the family side or from our own personal side. Certain times, we also feel that it is not just this sort of a leadership or organizational skills that we come across, which are life-making skills, but it is also important for us to see that we are adaptable, we are very creative in what we see. When you find, for example, when I'm doing mathematics, probably I was told 2 times 2 is only 4. But in life, you don't have an exact answer. There is no single answer for a question. Let us try to explore these alternatives and identify that sort of an answer which is situationally perfect, which is circumstantially right for us to adapt. And accordingly, make use of our own IQ in developing such sort of mechanisms that would help everyone live successfully. When I say competing with self and competing with others, I am trying to refer to those values and systems that probably would not lead to unhealthy competition. Today, the other problem is things that we don't talk about much is the unhealthy competition, which leads to several other unwanted aspects of society. And society, we are wasting our time, we are wasting our efforts. But today, when I see myself amongst such a young collection of people, young minds, who are enthusiastic, energetic, and trying to be, contributing, trying to create their own future. It is really exciting for people who are aged even like me, right? So this sort of an excitement is what we require in trying to do anything that we commit ourselves for. Added to this, we need to keep asking questions. Education, I've been trying to convey that education is not for degrees. At one point of time, probably till some more time, education means employment for many. But the actual philosophy of education is to keep us equipped, to be prepared, to address any such sort of a problem that comes across, that you come across, and give a solution for the society, if not for your own self. And in this particular context, store all this knowledge that comes into your mind, and make use of this as a common sense. Treat this as common sense, not as individual subjects. See how best we can make use of this. And this common sense is what is going to be tomorrow's employability. Degrees would not get you employment. It is only your skill, your ability that would make you. And that requires much more than your technicalities. being an individual, being human, being social, and being communicative as well. Communicative in the sense, I think of two terms. Particularly, we are all afraid of communication. All of us have come from a vernacular background, and probably many of us from vernacular background. We are afraid that we are not so good at communicating in foreign languages, English. But firstly, we need to understand that in communication there are four aspects. Two things come in and two things go out. We only talk about things that go out. That is, speaking and writing. But what are those two things that come in? Reading and listening. We are missing on these two components. We might have audio books, we might be watching several things and trying to get to know the knowledge, have the knowledge. But it is also essential for us to have our original reading and also listening. These are two skills that will put you at the forefront of communication. So once you are good at this, the confidence with which you will drive yourself is something unexplainable. Gain this. And with the little or whatever knowledge that we gain from the institutions and on our own self, I think we make ourselves a whole personality. I only wish that you make use of this sort of confluence. I hear from the principal that there is a plethora or a galaxy of events being conducted, not only the cultural events, but also there are several technical events being organized. And in this, I think you come to know several problem statements which are good enough to be your project ideas. Some of these small ideas that come up from such sort of avenues can lead to be great innovations and bigger startups as well. So, with this, make use of your good time, enjoy yourself, relax, and this sort of an experiential learning. While playing, you learn. Make your education also so experiential with your laboratory work as well as your own commitment to the subjects that you do. And I do not know, or I question everybody, how can I miss when I am so committed with such sort of an experiential learning? Right? Wish you great time. Have a good time all these 2 days and wish you all the best.